a merchant named Antonio worries that his ships are overdue. As his colleagues offer comfort, his young friends Bassanio, Graciano, and Lorenzo arrive. Bassanio asks Antonio for a loan so that he can pursue the wealthy Portia, who lives in Belmont. Antonio cannot afford the loan. Instead, he sends Bassanio to borrow the money on the security of Antonio's expected shipments. At Belmont, Portia and her maid Nerissa discuss the suitors who have come in response to Portia's father's strange will. The will says Portia may only marry a man who chooses the correct casket made from three possible options: gold, silver, and lead. Much to Portia's distress, all her suitors are unsatisfactory. However, she does fondly remember a time when Bassanio came to Belmont, and that leaves her with some hope. Bassanio approaches Shylock, a Jewish moneylender, about the loan. Shylock holds a grudge against Antonio for his lending practices and apparent anti-Semitism. Still, he offers Bassanio the loan instead of charging interest, seemingly as a kind of joke. He asks for a pound of Antonio's flesh if the loan is not repaid within 3 months. The bond is agreed to, in bracket, who wouldn't agree to that? And Bassanio prepares to leave for Belmont with his friend Graciano. Meanwhile, one of Shylock's servants, Lancelot, wishes to change masters and persuades Bassanio to employ him. Shylock's daughter Jessica also longs to leave home. She wants to become a Christian and marry Antonio's friend Lorenzo. Before he departs to serve his new master, Lancelot takes a letter to Lorenzo that contains plans for Lorenzo and Jessica to elope that night. When Shylock goes out, Jessica escapes to elope, taking gold and jewels with her. The following day, Bassanio sets sail for Belmont, while Shylock rages over the loss of his daughter and the treasures she has stolen. In Belmont, one of Portia's suitors, the Prince of Morocco, chooses the golden casket, while another, the Prince of Aragon, selects silver. Both chose the wrong casket and are unsuccessful. As Aragon lives, Bassanio is announced. Portia eagerly goes to greet him. After a few days, Shylock hears that his daughter Jessica is squandering her stolen wealth in Genoa. He begins to rail bitterly against Christians. He reminds Antonio's friend that if the loan is not repaid on time, he will insist on the original agreement of 1 pound of flesh. Back in Belmont, Bassanio chooses the lead casket, and in so doing, he wins Portia. His friend Gratiano asks for Portia's married Nerissa to be his wife. Portia gives her ring to Bassanio, making him promise never to give it to another. As Lorenzo and Jessica comes to Belmont, news arrives that Antonio's ships have been lost at sea, and he is now bankrupt. They're also told Shylock insists on the fulfillment of his bond and has had Antonio arrested. Bassanio and Gratiano leave in haste to help Antonio. Portia and Nerissa resolve to follow afterwards, disguised as lawyers. In the court in Venice, Shylock demands his pound of flesh. The Duke, presiding over the court, seeks legal advice from the lawyer Balthazar, who is Portia in disguise. Portia pleads for Shylock to have mercy on Antonio. Bassanio offers his wife's money, which would more than pay the debt. But Shylock refuses to accept. Antonio's death is only prevented, as Balthazar explains, the bond is for flesh, but not for a single drop of blood. So, Shylock cannot collect the pound of flesh. For threatening the life of a Venetian, Shylock forfeits his goods to Antonio and Bassanio. Antonio refuses his share of compensation and asks for it to be put in a trust for Lorenzo and Jessica. He also demands that Shylock becomes a Christian. Broken and in submission, Shylock leaves the court. Bassanio and Gratiano thank the lawyers who ask for their rings as legal fees. Bassanio and Gratiano refuse until Antonio intervenes and makes them give the ring to the lawyers. Undisguised, Portia and Nerissa return home at night to find Lorenzo and Jessica enjoying the tranquility of Belmont. When their husbands arrive, Portia and Nerissa scold them for giving away their rings, pretending they had been given away to other women. Before long, they reveal themselves as the lawyers from the trial. Antonio receives news that his ships have returned safely after all. In brackets, looks like we didn't need to go through all this mess in the first place. The play ends as the three couples prepare to celebrate their marriages.